Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Cantrell Country Travelway Cruiseline show. Hope everybody is having a great night. Welcome here. Um, Guys, please feel free to enjoy yourself. We got a special guest with us tonight who, if everybody here knows, um, I'm just actually getting to know her, and she's a great lady and definitely knows her traveling stuff, which I love. Which we'll learn more. But let's welcome everybody in. Um, well, so far I see Harlan, and of course, welcome in, Harlan. Good to see you. It's always good to see you in traveling with the Tinkerbell chats. I know you're one of her moderators. Um, Now that's funny. How does he show a wrenching? That's weird. But welcome in, everybody. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat tonight. We want to learn more about Tinkerbell, as she asked, and we got to learn about me on her show on Tuesday. Now it's her turn to sit in what we call the hot seat. And there we go, Jill. Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, Jill, understand. At least you're in here. Jill is one of my moderators. She is also from the Disney community. Samuel Wilkinson, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Another one of our persons that's come into the community. So let's welcome in our guest tonight. Hopefully we'll have another co-host joining us in a few minutes. He always seems to run. It's those Seattle people. I don't know what it is with Seattle people or something. I don't know. It must be all that. Must be all that rain. I'll deal with them. But it's someone. I got to hang out with him. He's actually become a good friend. And we try to hang out every time he comes to Disney World. And you'll get to meet him in a few minutes. But everybody, I want to introduce Traveling with Tinkerbell. Mods, if you can please put in the chat, please put Traveling with Tinkerbell's link in throughout the night. So as we get to know her, we can put some of our people over here. If you are looking, again, just like I am a travel agent, she is a travel agent with Expedia. And we'll learn more. We'll learn a little bit more with that on how she got involved with that. But welcome in, Tinkerbell. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Dave.
It's been a blast. They do, Harlan. It does make some good wine. It's all that rain that I guess they get, unfortunately.
But well, thank you so much for having me here on your show today. I'm very happy to be here with you guys today. And I guess you guys are going to learn a little bit about Traveling with Tinkerbell and all about me today.
That's right. See, now, and what we like to call, in our community, we like to call that the hot seat. We get to put you in the hot seat. Just as where you guys got to ask me questions on Tuesday, I was in the hot seat. And I'm more than willing to come back. Listen, and again, I enjoyed doing that show. I found it quite refreshing, and it was a fun time, and being able to share some things. And again, when you want to have me on, just let me know. I would love to come back on.
Definitely. We'll have you on again whenever you want to come back to the show. Just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to bring you back and continue that journey together.
And like I said, as we grow our channels, hopefully somewhere down the road, maybe we can collaborate on the show together or something. It would be
definitely. I would love that. Definitely.
Like I said, I love collaborating with other channels and things. So why don't you, what I always do with my guests is I love to have you tell a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and just share a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is actually Jackie Gonzalez. Gonzalez by marriage. Everybody calls me Tinkerbell. A lot of people ask me why Tinkerbell. Well, I just love the fairy. I have a massive collection of Tinkerbells in my home, and I just find her to be really cute and amazing. And whenever I go to Disney, what makes me happy is to see her fly. if I don't see her fly, then like the magical is not there anymore. But other than that, I have 5 children, 3 grandkids, 2 fur babies. So, and I live in Florida. For those of you that do not know, I work for Expedia Cruises. I've been a travel advisor for almost 4 years now. And not to like pat myself too hard on the back. I'm in the 1 percentile on the top rated travel advisors in the world. I think we have 6,000 and something travel advisors in Expedia, and I am number 21 in the country. So that's
we got a top notch law. I
that
love
is
that.
pretty cool. But it comes with a lot of work. It comes with a lot of work, a lot of effort. It's a job that is 24/7. I work 7 days a week from 8 to 8 p.m. So it's a lot of work, a lot of dedication. But I always say it to everybody: if there's something that you have a passion for, do it with all your heart. And especially if you're a person of faith, God will always walk right by you, and he will guide you, and he will open doors that you will never thought they will be open. So that's my thing.
I love it. I love it. And we'll get into some more of that information, but let me welcome in my good friend, Richard. We call him Bloom and Cheese, his channel. But again, he likes Richard.
Hello.
Meet Jackie, Tinkerbell.
I finally got to meet Tinkerbell.
Same here. How are you?
Obviously, this is the one, Richard, that I've been telling you guys that we met. It's been about a week we met or talked, and all the things, or it might be a couple of weeks, something like that. And
it's been since my break in December. You've been to my channel quite a bit. And one of my moderators says, "Hey, I remember like if it was today, I was in the kitchen cooking, and she calls me. She goes, you know that they're talking about your channel on Dave Cantrell," and I'm like, I think he's one of the subscribers that he come, and I ran over there. She sent me the link, and that's how I got on. And I said, "Hey, Dave," and because it's weird how I tell you, God works in so many mysterious ways that I have people talking about my channel that I don't even know sometimes, to be honest. And it's a blessing the way I see it. It's a blessing. And I wanted to say thank you to Dave that day for mentioning my channel and stuff like that. So I wanted to come real quick. I dropped what I was doing and I ran to my computer. But those are the things, those are the things that make you. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy.
And I'm gonna. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I just enjoy spending time with the community and, building a community up because, it's a lot of hard work. But I always tell everybody, networking is the key. You got to network with everybody and you got to be who you are.
Exactly. Especially as a travel agent, and I said it I know you guys, if you guys didn't catch the Tuesday night show, and I'm talking primarily for my community here, for the people that, I know for you guys that are always hanging around in my shows, if you did not catch Tinkerbell's show on Tuesday when I was there, please go back and check it out. It was a good time.
It was a good show.
It had a good interview. Did you catch? Did you sneak in?
I was there, Dave. I was his moderator. I couldn't come on, but I was here.
On Tuesday night when I was on her show?
Yeah. I was there. I said hello even on your channel. I was in the chat.
Yeah, if you would have sent me a message, I would have sent you the link to come on over.
I could not really. I was my sister was feeling sick, so she was sleeping during the time, and I just don't really feel like doing that while she's trying to sleep.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. Understood.
I'm right next to her in the room.
But anyway, to answer your thing, Tinkerbell, I believe it was EM74. Now I don't know who the person is.
Yeah, EM. Yeah, it's Emily. That's Emily 74. She's from.
Okay. Well, it was Emily because Emily. I don't know how she found my channel originally, but she actually stepped in one night into the channel, and
she said she was watching TV, and then your channel popped up. I tell you, that's what I'm saying. God is amazing. Your channel popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next thing you know, she goes, oh, well, let me, she was watching TV and doing some stuff. And she's like, yeah, let me check them out. And then next thing you know, she heard that you were talking about me. And she said, she got on the phone. She goes, oh, you got to jump on here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So, and I said, well, wait a minute. I'm cooking. So I went over there to the computer and logged on. It's always good to say thank you, to the other channels that are talking about your channel.
Yes.
As a thank you. And, and half of the times I don't even know because, what are the odds that somebody that knows you, it's in that channel checking, that channel out.
Yes.
Exactly.
Same with Pete. Like I was telling Dave that Pete has sent me an email in November. And that he liked my channel, he was going to promote it in his, in his side and all of that. And
he has a big heart. Pete, everyone in our community, he is the cornerstone. If you're wondering, it seems like everyone just goes to him.
And here's the thing about this: you're talking about that whole.
He has a big
circle.
heart.
It's come. It's come around the circle because it was Pete who put. He talked about your show. So I decided to go check it out. And then all of a sudden, and I hung around one or twice. And then all of a sudden, Ian, I was doing a show on the cruise line or one of the other shows. And EM74 popped in. So then I popped back in over there. And here we are today.
And here we are today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me welcome in some more guests, guys. Obviously, our good friend and Mama, we call her Mama D because she mothers all of us. But
she mothers everyone, and she is a huge mod over at Pete's. She's like one of the main. Yes,
she is.
Well, hello,
she's everywhere. I swear she has eyes in the back of her head.
She's like a fairy. They're everywhere.
Like Mama D. She is everywhere. She's everywhere. She is like just like we have a lot of super mods in our chats.
Yes.
And Mama, her name is Debbie Bernfeld, but we call her Mama D because it's like if I do this, watch. Sorry, Richard, I got to do something here. I know I'm going to hear for it. He's having a technical issues, Debbie. Now watch what happens.
I'm not used to that happening to me, Dave. Come on. That's always Mike.
Well, Mike's not here. Listen, Mike's not here. What can I say? Mike's not here.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But see, this is the kind of fun that we have on the show. But we do get serious and getting back to guys. If you do have a question for Tinkerbell, please put it in the chat and ask the Reddit and definitely ask the Reddit to me so that we. Oh, there we go. Look at the chat. I knew that was coming. I already told you, Debbie, it was coming.
And thank you, Samuel, for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. Hopefully you like my content and that you guys will enjoy, what I bring out there to everybody.
Now, this brings up the net. So if you guys do have any questions, please put them in the chat. Arrest it. If I don't catch it, hopefully, Richard, if you can help me watch the chat to catch them in case I don't miss them. My first question is this. I know the guy sitting below us and me, we love the water dearly. We love the cruising. How did you how did you fall in love with cruising? When did you fall in love with cruising?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I wished that I could have known the cruising industry before my daughter's 15th birthday. One of my middle daughters, she's now 26. So 10 years ago, she says, Mom, it's my 15th birthday and I don't want to do just like a regular quinceañera. So I want to do something different. And she goes, I want to go on a cruise. And I was like, well, I've never been on a cruise. How is this cruise thing works? My first cruise was on Royal Caribbean Enchantment of the Seas on August 11 of 10 years ago. And it was an ocean view cabin I will never forget. And our cruise director was Bing Bong. And my cabin stewardess was The Rocket. That's what his name was. And ever since then, I have done 58 cruises till today.
Okay. Sorry, Richard, you just lost your top of the list.
But I just fell in love with cruising. One, it brings peace to my life. I just love the sound of the ocean.
Yeah.
I love, that not only you get to see the different ports of call, but you also get to talk to different types of people from different parts of the world. And I feel that when you're cruising, I think that's when everybody is more like calm, and it's like you're actually traveling with a different type of human being than what they are here in the world when they dock back in. Like, people don't care in a cruise. They just like, my life is in Florida. I left it back, and I'm just gonna go and have a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna forget everything that ever happened. And I think cruising, to me, is a really nice way to kind of like de-stress and enjoy and take it all in. The only situation that these past 3 years that I've been a travel agent, I have to work from all my cruises. So I'm at work 24/7. So I take a little bit of time here and there to work and still enjoy that cruise life.
I'm just discovering that no matter where I'm at, even when I'm on vacation, I'm like, crap. I either have to do training videos for all of my suppliers, or I'm dealing with clients even when I'm on vacation. It's like, and you love what you do. And you don't get me wrong, I love what I do, but you do, like you said, you got to take that moment. As a travel advisor, like you have to take that moment to stress.
Yeah, you have to have that passion in you, and I don't see travel as a job. I see it more like a hobby. And I love it so much that it doesn't even bother me if I'm on a cruise. Think about it. You're on a cruise. Like, why? What? You don't let anything bother you when you're on a cruise. So
it's really, more relaxing. Cool. Yeah. Yep.
And that's awesome, because I'm going to tell you right now, like I said, I'm just getting to the point where I'm getting ready. I've had to take my parents were elderly, so I've had to, when I started doing this 2 years ago, Mom had, she let's see, she had been sick. We were, I was just getting started into it, and then all of a sudden, we thought she was getting better, and then took for a turn for a worse. And then I had to really take care of Dad after she passed, but now I'm getting into it. So it's like, now I'm getting ready to do the cruises. But my question for you is, how did you get, so you fell in love with the cruising. You've taken your cruises. Obviously, anybody that does 58 cruises, that's a tremendous record. Obviously, you have to love cruising when you're doing that. I would love to do that. If I could cruise all the time, I would be saying this. But I do. I need to get back, because Jill, can you repost your question? I know you had. Oh, here we go. Jill had a question for you, Tinkerbell.
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I have a couple of cruise adventures coming up.
I'll tell you something about Jill in a minute. Go ahead and answer the question.
Okay.
About Jill.
I have a couple of cruise adventures coming up. I have a group cruise on Carnival Celebration coming up on April 20th. And one of the most amazing cruises that I'm going to be taking is going to be in June with my family. It's going to be on the Celebrity Ascent out of Rome. So it's going to be a 24-day adventure. So we're going to be going to Rome, and then we're going to get on the cruise there, and then we're going to visit all the different Italy area, and then Spain, and then we're going to be flying out to Paris. We got to check out Disney in Paris.
Yes.
And then we're flying back home. So that is for right now this year, that's what I have, but that does not mean that there's more stuff in the way. There's other plans that I have in between. So, but there's announcements coming. There's announcements coming for other cruises this year.
I might actually have to come join you on one of your groups one of these days.
Definitely.
Actually,
we could do a Disney group cruise.
There you go. But I do want to welcome some other people in, because I think it looked like you shared it out on your channel.
Yes, I did.
I love it. Margot,
plug it back and forth.
Cruise Nuts came in. Welcome in, guys.
Hello, Cruise Nuts. And say hello to
So-
the other cruise nuts, Miss Tracy, by the way. Hello, Margot.
Well, Margot.
Yeah. We got some more people in.
Yep.
Obviously, I know my channel can't see these guys, but it's good to. So welcome in everybody that's over on Tinkerbell's channel. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys. I know I've seen you. I've seen a few of you on the thing, so that's good to see you guys. And glad you're here to support Tinkerbell.
Thank you.
For me, I'm going to tell you what. One of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to this year is seeing how the new ship from Royal Caribbean is going to compare to the Icon.
You're talking about the Star of the Seas?
Yep, Star of the Seas. I mean, do you have a specific favorite cruise line that you love traveling?
I do. I love Celebrity.
Okay.
I've been on Carnival. Norwegian, Royal, Holland. I haven't been on Princess. I will be going soon. There's an announcement coming soon on a new brand of ship that I have never been. It will be, well, I cannot say it today, but there's an announcement coming out on Tuesday. I'm going to be checking that new brand of ship out. So, and then I'm going to have to check out Princess, cruise lines, and then eventually go out to Europe and maybe check P&O and all the other cruise lines out there, river cruising and things like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, obviously, because I'm going to tell you, the guy below us, he has done a few different. How many different cruise lines have you done, Richard?
I've only done 3.
Okay, but his biggest
14 cruises though, so out of those 3, so
hey, that's not bad.
Actually, that considered
with Disney. I'm sorry to.
So you've only done Disney,
and then I've done Princess, and then I did Carnival.
Okay.
Carnival was my first cruise.
Okay.
Well, I've done 1. I did Carnival, and now but I did do 1 tour on the MSC Seascape. So
yes,
I've actually
awesome.
I did put foot. I have put foot on a second cruise. And that was a joy. I'll tell you what, I was about ready to sneak into somebody's suitcase and say,
"Oh, geez."
That counts. If you step foot on the ship, that counts.
I have an update also
it felt like it.
Yeah. I am going on to a new cruise line in December of this year. The very end of the year. Cunard.
Ooh, that's a high class one.
High class.
You're going.
And I'm getting onto it for free. So
hey, it don't matter.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do with this.
I know. That's even better if you think about it.
Exactly.
And this is what I say to him. Well, excuse us. Don't forget us.
Yeah, excuse me. Man, think of the different itinerary those things have.
High class there, sir.
They have a lot of different itineraries.
The thing with these cruise lines that you have loyalty on all of them, and then you try to get these loyalty, out there, and it's
programs.
Like,
I've done that with Disney up to the second highest. I am.
Oh, well, see, I'm gonna have to travel with you the next time because I have Disney. I only done 1, which was the Fantasy, and that was 6 years ago, and it was a 7-day cruise.
12. I've done 12 Disney cruises.
I'll be honest with you. I will never
20.
forget.
I'm working towards the 20, but I'm not mid-day yet.
Yeah, I went on the Fantasy, and I had a aft veranda, right? Mm-hmm. And my neighbor next to me, she, and at that time, I was not even a TA at that time. And she's like, I have a question for you. Cause we started talking and she goes, do you always cruise Disney? And I'm like, no, this is my first time. Yeah. And she's like, well, I've never cruised anything other than Disney. And she said that at that time, I think she had like 30 something cruises with Disney at that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like blown away. I'm like, why don't you want to try something different?
Well,
people like what they like. People like what they like.
And then also for anyone that is wondering, some of the points can transition from one cruise line to the other.
Oh, okay.
If you know what you're doing. So, for example, I was on Princess. They got me all the way up to Emerald status in Princess because I took already had 11 cruises with Disney.
Wow, that's pretty good.
You know,
And
Hey,
something
that's
to
a
look
bonus.
into. Yeah.
Yeah.
now here's
If
the
you already
person I
have
was telling you about.
perks.
Jill is one of our Jill is one of our special ladies in the
Yeah.
community too, and she's a great mod. In fact, this one, she just did the icon of the seas back
Yeah.
in October,
Ooh,
and now the thing of it is, now she's getting ready to do the
treasures.
Disney Treasure
Yep.
So
in a
she
few
got to
months.
meet Rover.
It wasn't Emerald. It was the highest status they have. I have to look it up, but they put me on the highest status they have because I was in Disney.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I do want to welcome in one other person that just came in. She's another one of my moderators, Stephanie Keel. Welcome in. Good to
Hello,
see you
Stephanie.
all.
How are you?
And Stephanie, you better have Paul. Where's Paul at? Get his tail in here so that he can learn about cruising and get you on a cruise. Y'all need to
Oh,
talk
look,
to me. Y'all
Jill said
y'all
she
need to
saw
come talk to me.
Rover. She saw Rover, but she did not meet him. Aww.
Yeah, it was Elite, I think. Yeah. Something on that line. Yeah.
Hey, it was with an E.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Emerald,
It's
Elite.
saying next to the statue on the icon.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, Icon is beautiful though.
Yeah.
Icon is beautiful. That's a beautiful ship. I think that it was a well-made ship. And I know that Star, when it comes out, is going to be even better. And they're already building the other one already.
Yep.
That we still don't have a name, but I think it's going to be probably like something with an E or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. And well, like I said, and I'm hoping, you know, for these guys, for my people, I know they know that I've been working hard on trying to get all this. Believe it or not, guys, I'm working on another client that I'm hoping he may not, but we'll see what goes on. But I'm actually working on another client for a cruise, so hopefully
Hey, there
that'll
you
start
go.
leading somewhere.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Yeah, okay, you said you've been with Expedia. How did you get into Expedia on the Expedia cruise?
Oh my God, this is a
Right.
wonderful
As a
story.
traveler.
When I got with Expedia back in when the pandemic was happening. For those of you that go back into 2020, I started watching a lot of YouTube vlogs and things like that, and I came across Lalita Loca,
Mm-hmm.
Tony and Jenny, and they had a meetup that same year in June. And I went to meet them over in Orlando in Cape Canaveral when the Mardi Gras I think it was like in 2021 when the Mardi Gras first came in after the pandemic, because that ship was behind in schedule.
Yep.
And she's a travel agent for Expedia. And we met that day. We had a great conversation, became friends. We exchanged phone numbers. And one day I called her because I was, I needed something to do, something that I was passionate about. I said, maybe she can help me, getting into the travel agent.
Yeah.
I called her one day and I talked to her. She goes, sure, I'll help you out. And then the rest was history. Here I am. I'm working with Expedia. It was great because I also worked for her at one point because she had a team, what is called the Team Jenny from La Vida Loca. So it helped me, with my business. But as a lot of people know, Jenny already retired and she's now living a retired life. And here we are and we're moving forward and I love it. And I'm thankful. And if Jenny's ever watching this show, Jenny, I love you with all my heart. And thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always a blessing, It was an honest blessing and a door that got open for me for sure.
All right. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I mean, like I said, my thing of it is when I decided to do it, I said, I've been wanting to do it for a while and I tried at one point, but life was bumpy. And that was several years ago, even before I discovered the Disney community.
Right.
And just like you ask anybody in the Disney community, this is how everybody found the Disney community. It seems like when that pandemic hit, we couldn't get enough of Disney. We had to have our Disney. I mean,
Yeah.
so it was like we're watching one vlogger after another vlogger after another,
Yeah.
and all of a
Oh,
sudden,
yeah.
the community, once they started opening the parks, it's like exploded. Everybody started live streaming the Disney.
Yeah, I
park,
remember I was a
Disneyland,
pass
and Disney
holder and they
World.
canceled all of our passes. It was
Yep.
just a crazy mess. And then to get the passes back was another mess.
We had
Oh God.
just in that 1 year that happened, we had 8 cruises. We're just back to back. We kept trying to book them at Disney Cruise Line.
Wow.
What happened was they gave double the points whenever they canceled them.
Wow.
So
That's
we
awesome.
racked up the points, and we're to this day we're still using those points. We haven't used them all up yet.
Wow. I've
11
heard a lot of people.
cruises later,
I've heard a lot of people that are some Disney vloggers that they use some of their points and they even went on that suite, whatever that suite is, the funnel suite.
The funnel suite is a very good one. It's on 2 ships, if I remember correctly, 2 ships, the 2 newest ones. So then there is usually the Walt or the Walt suite, which is really cool, or also the his brother. So that would be what's his name that always has a suite on the Disney Cruise Line? Ron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Ron.
And Stephanie, our Tinkerbell, you got a message from Stephanie. She is one of the ladies that does. She is one of the ladies that does the Triple C show. So they are looking forward to having you.
Definitely. I'm
on
actually
that
looking
show.
forward to meeting with you guys and having a good
I
time
am
over
looking
there.
to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the show.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Guys, make sure you guys are putting. Please put Tinkerbell's email address in there as well as mine, guys. Don't forget. Do me a favor. Make sure we're putting all the links in there we need tonight, which would be, well, even put Richard's in there too. He's my partner channel. So
let's put everybody out there.
Pretty much. I mean, on this show, I try to limit to more who's on the show, especially if I got guests. So right now it's about you, obviously mine, and of course Richard, who does that. Yep. And there's Paul. Finally, you get in here, Paul. Good evening, buddy.
Hello, Paul.
Yep.
Now the question for Paul: when in the world are you going to book your guys' cruises? I'm ready to book, now, buddy. I'm ready to book you.
Oh boy,
sure Stephanie's ready to go. No, but I'm glad. Good to. I'm Paul and Stephanie. They're a great couple, and I'm glad to see them in here. They're also good mods as well. Can't say enough because a lot of my mods are moderators for Pete.
Okay, that's awesome.
So I actually have to ask you as a TA, what are some of the hardest times you have when you're dealing with clients when it comes to booking cruises?
I've never had like a really hard time. I think the only hardest time that I've had in the 3 years that I've been with Expedia, it's a group cruise that happened last year. It was about 132 cabins altogether. And Haleen decided to come through that week and kind of like messed it up a little bit.
you got to try to put your fingers out there and be like, okay, let's try to organize.
And and Haleen happened and the group cruise got delayed by 1 day.
Okay.
And at that point, since it was a 3-day cruise, think about it, 1 day less. So it's like a day and a quarter, you can think. So half of the people decided to go on the cruise, and then the other half decided not to go on the cruise. So the hardest part of this whole fiasco, if you can call it that way, has been reimbursements and rebooking. But other than that,
I helped my sister out because she does like you guys do. My sister does the same. She she's a travel agent booker for a lot of people. Well, she tried to do one for, I believe, let me think, that's Cozumel, Mexico.
Okay.
And it was 352 people.
Oh, wow.
And it was a wedding.
Mm.
And it just, some of the things that it was the first time that she ever did 300 people, obviously. And then she was like, how am I supposed to do that many people? And then she was trying to also get the reimbursement at the same time. And it was a little bit hectic trying to figure that out. But you know what? It finally went through and then all of it worked out. So
Yeah,
I'm glad it worked out.
It's a little bit hectic. It all works out. You have to be very, very structured when building these cruises, like these groups, especially when they're as big. Because I think mine had like about a little bit under 400 people.
Yeah.
And you have to, because the thing is that you go through the phases, right? You book and then you book everything, then you go through final payment, and then hurricane happens, everybody's going and then the phone starts ringing one behind the other. It was like mad. My phone was like a madhouse.
You're sitting there doing.
And then once you process through all of the mad craziness, then I haven't gotten my refund. Where's my refund? It's been 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. I want to reprocess. I want to do this. I want to, and then you go through that process. Well, my cousin got the refund. How come I haven't got the refund?
Exactly.
You go
for us for Mexico. It took one of them took about 2 to 3 weeks for her, but all the rest of them were in between of that, and about 4.5 to 5 weeks later is when they finally got the refund.
Well, she's lucky.
Yes,
I still got 13. I still got 13 people since September waiting for refund.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, you just keep in touch.
We're not even going to put who the cruise line is out there.
I will tell you this.
Called the company that she works with. She called them every single day until they got them all up through. She just, she wanted to be the annoying one. You know that you wanted to get hers.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Everyone else.
Because I'll tell you what, anybody that's a TA knows that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Caribbean, your worst nightmare is hurricane season because you don't know when they're going to pop up, and they can.
Yeah. But I will say, I did have one of my clients that was traveling from Montana, and she was she was in her 80s, and it was the sisters. They were meeting up for an Alaska cruise, and on the way there, they have to stop in Canada, and then they had to stop into Canada to get into Vancouver, and one of the sisters' flight got delayed. And the other two sisters were in the airport. So I remember getting that phone call because of the time difference at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I got on the phone with her, try to assess the situation. So I sent two of the sisters to the Pan. I think it's the Pan. Oh my God, I can't even think about the name, but it's right there on Vancouver in the cruise port. Pan Pacific, I think is the resort.
Pan Pacific, yeah.
So I sent two of the sisters there, and I said, do not worry. I'll keep an eye for the other flight to land, and I will call your sister and let her know that you guys are at the hotel. So it was like 5:00 in the morning when that flight landed. I finally got a hold of her, and she was like, I'm waiting on and I go, don't worry. They're already on the hotel. Just go to the hotel. But they were there like a day before, so they had enough time. So that was one of the most, I guess, stressful, trying to work with the family that was worried about them flying over there, but everything worked out at the end.
Yeah. The one I was talking about when they went to Mexico for Cozumel, all of the people basically looked like they went through. I think it was Las Vegas at one time. But Las Vegas had right at that exact day, obviously the exact day, had the strike that they were not having flights going out of Las Vegas, even though they're flying in.
Oh, wow.
So they was a little bit of a maneuverment. My sister was happy enough that basically she got it so she would get like an Uber or Lyft, take them to the next city.
Oh, wow. That's
That's
awesome.
how bad it turned out, because they were still it lasted about 3 days, and she was there. They were there on day one. It would have been 2 days delayed.
Jeez,
I'm
that's
like, oh,
crazy.
what are you supposed to do with that?
Well,
We're having
Well,
a
let me
strike
welcome
in the
in-
middle of the thing, and then it's like, okay, how are you gonna get out of here?
That is true.
welcome in EM70. Speaking of EM74, EM74 has joined us. Thank you over on.
Yeah, there
Tinkerbell
is my
channel.
lovely M,
And that the one that seemed to be the bridge that brought this all
That's
together.
right. Thank you, M.
so
I love M.
Yes, thank you, M74. And guys, if you guys got a question for Tinkerbell, please to ask in a question. Because like I said, I know Paul, and like I said, I love Paul and Stephanie together. I know that eventually they want to go on cruises. That's why, and Debbie said she's one, and I will. Now is the time to ask questions. You all know Richard. He's been on cruises. You know, I've been doing training on Cruiseline guys. And then you got one of our cruise experts, Tinkerbell. So right now is the time to ask questions, guys.
I do have a little, how would you say it? A little tip to give everybody. And please, this has nothing to do with Dave or anybody else that he is a travel agent, but I'm going to give you this tip, and I don't want to take any business from anybody. I will put that first and foremost out there. Is just a little information so that you guys can know. If you guys are looking on getting into Icon of the Seas or maybe Star, Expedia does have some really good group rates that we do get that a lot of the host agencies will never be able to see.
Yeah.
And these kinds of ships are very hard to get into because it's very costly. So if you're looking into something like that, please let me know. And if you come from Dave or I'm sorry, what is your name again?
Richard or Blooming.
Richard.
Yeah.
Let me know, and then I'll figure out something with them separately on the side. If you guys are going to come from them, buying something from Expedia, we'll figure something out so everybody can be happy.
Yeah. Well, and like we said, and we're going to and most of you guys of the cruise know this, and maybe some of you guys do, maybe some of you guys don't know some of the trade secrets that go within the true cruise line or not, travel and tourism across. A lot of TAs tend to help each other because and again, Tinkerbell has said it before about networking, because not one person has all the answers.
Right.
I may have answers that Tinkerbell don't have. She may have answers that I'm looking for. Yeah. Obviously, Richard may have answers that he doesn't, or that we may not. We all come from different backgrounds. We come from different, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And that's why we're promoting out. I mean, obviously, in a few minutes here, I'm going to be playing my commercial because obviously my business, my business supports this channel. That's what it's all about. But
I'm very honest. If you ever come to me like that, you want to get on Icon or want to purchase something like that, and we do have a group rate, please let me know that you're coming either from one of these two gentlemen, because I have a way that they can also get a part of, whatever I get, they're going to get also a part of it, because that's how we are in the industry. We help each other.
If I can get a group together, I may be part of it. I need to talk to Richard and a few others in the community, and we'll take over the Icon.
I know, right? Look at that.
It might be the last time we get to party on the Icon, because
what do we have to pay? I think we have to pay like $1 million or more than $1 million to charter the whole Icon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring all the Disney people into Icon. Take over.
There is one question for you, Tinkerbell.
Sure.
And that's Debbie. She had a question for you.
What is the first? What are my thoughts for your first cruise by yourself, like a solo cruiser? I'll be honest with you, Debbie. I would say go for it. There's different cruise lines. You have like Norwegian. Norwegian has the solo areas where you can, if you're going by yourself, you have a solo cabin. And now with Norwegian, not only you get the interior, but you also get ocean view and balcony as a solo. And they have the solo areas where you can meet other solo people in that area. And they have like, things like that. But I do have a lot of people that do travel solo and they have a wonderful time. You're not going to feel like you're on your own because the ship is so huge or small or however which way. And you always find people to talk with. And you'll be surprised how many people you will find that you become friends. And then you're not going to be traveling solo no more, because I've known a lot of people that started solo and they have friends and now they go together, and they go together like two ladies or whatever, and they travel a whole lot. I actually have a couple of customers that are like that. Okay. And they just have a lot of friendships. So yeah, I would say do it. And they actually have some solo activities as well during the day that you can enjoy, and you can partake in that. But yeah, definitely. You just got to find the right cruise line that works for you, to be honest.
Well, let me welcome in. It's me, David T, who is another. He's always heckling.
The local.
I mean, I will say he doesn't. His love for the other cruise lines are okay, but he definitely has his love for the Disney Cruise Line, and I kind of understand because his daughter does work on the Treasure.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So his daughter does work on the Treasure as a CM, so I understand why. But welcome in David T. He's another good person. All right, guys, I'm going to do something real quick. I know everybody doesn't like commercials, but unfortunately, I had to do this because this
go for it.
This is what supports my channels.
That's right.
Whether it's luxury or fun in the sun, Dave's got the tips to make your cruise number one. Tune in, sit back, let's plan your stay on Cantrell Country's Travelway. It's Cantrell Country's Travelway, setting sail on adventure every day. From island stops to ocean blue, we got your cruising covered through and through. Pack your bags and set your sights. We're cruising seas and booking flights from the ports to the waves where dreams come alive. Dave Cantrell is here to guide your ride. It's Cantrell Country's Travelway, setting sail on adventure every day. From island stops to ocean blue, we've got your cruising covered through and through.
All right.
I love that. Where did you get that from?
He made it from someone. Yes.
That is so cool.
Well, it was actually, here's the crazy thing on that. It was actually meant to be an intro, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, that covers everything. I do Disney.
That does.
I do flight. I do cruising, and I do traveling. Like I said, my big thing is across the country, domestic. But I do everything. It fits. I mean, it's just like I had to
did
put
a really good job with that. I loved it.
Yeah.
We actually had to.
Yeah.
I'm
watching some of the comments.
Wait, listen.
I'm watching the comments.
David T, for a fact that wasn't a YouTube commercial. So I hate to tell you, you ain't getting a. Sorry, buddy. That has nothing to do with YouTube.
That's too funny.
But no, I will tell you, and that's about the only commercial you guys will see on my thing is because it does. But and you know what? And like Richard said, it's one of my moderators. She also moderates for other channels, but she is quite good with. And when her name is Katie Y.
Yep.
She did a really
tremendous.
good
I'm
job.
like,
She did a really good
she-
job. I loved it.
He's really good at that.
I
Yeah.
was looking at
I
it
mean,
and I said,
I'm like,
I was looking at that. I'm like, oh, I could make one of those like with Tinkerbell, or like the music. That is really cool.
well, you know what? If we ever get to see Katie Y in here, I will hook
Yeah.
her up with you. And
Okay.
or if you want to talk to me about it, I will talk with Katie and see if she might. I mean, obviously, we love having your people in this community and all that.
Definitely.
Again, guys, if you guys got questions for Tinkerbell from my side or her side, and feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to them. Do you have any questions, Richard, for?
I don't think so. Not this time.
Richard's like, I'm just having a great time.
I'm having a good time over here. Yeah.
Well, but I'm glad he came in because he's put in a lot of good information too. So I mean,
That's right.
But again, guys, make sure that you guys go check out her Traveling with Tinkerbell on the thing. And like Stephanie said earlier, she will be on the Triple C show in March. So make sure you check that out.
That's going to be fun.
Obviously. I'm going to be wait to sit back and relax to see that show.
Yeah.
And then she's going to then she's going to see. She's going to wonder, what in the world did I get into? Because she's going to just see how crazy the Disney community can get and how much fun we actually have over there. And there are a lot of us. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of, her name is Yadi, and her channel is called Happily Ever Yadi. But she does
I have.
Have you ever met her?
I've never met her, but I have heard of her channel.
Yadi is very, very cool. We like her.
Yeah, I have heard a lot about her channel, but I've never personally met her or anything like that.
Right.
The only people that I have met is from the Disney community. I do follow, like I told you, JoJo, Kyle, Paulo. I actually have a picture with Kyle and Casey. I met them on an Epcot one day. And it was weird because I was going to see the Beauty and the Beast in the Paris area. There's like a little theater there. And I'm walking in and we're sitting down and all I saw was the camera from an angle. And I'm like, I told my husband, oh my God, that's Kyle. And he's like, who? And I said, Kyle Paulo. Sure enough, once the whole thing finished and we walked out, I waited for him and I talked to him. Very nice guy, super sweet.
Yep.
Casey as well. And I also follow Paging Mr. Morrow.
Okay.
So I follow all of these. I've been following them for a long, long time. Like it's been 4 or 5 years already. So and it's been really
around
nice.
for a while.
Yeah.
One day I probably bump into JoJo in one of the Disney parks. But it's a lot of fun. So
there you go. Stephanie Keel just subbed to you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
See, I'm glad you were able
to have to bring.
Yeah.
I do got. I mean, and now this is a question regarding this. And some of the questions, and like I said, the couple of clients that I have talked to about cruises are going. They were really not sure. And I know we talked about this again, and we talked about it on your show Tuesday. But again, it goes back to that whole travel planning insurance and this goes back to the hurricane season because you just don't know what happened. Yeah. What is your opinion on making sure that you get, advising your clients to getting, the travel planning insurance? So in case something does happen, because you can get sick, you could have a death in the family, things medically can come up. I mean, what is your opinion?
I always tell everybody, nothing is a problem until it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, if you look at your clients out there when they're booking, some of these people book from $500 to $20,000, $30,000 cruises.
Yes.
And maybe not on a $500 because it's not so much, but a lot of people, sometimes $500 is a whole lot for that family. So it depends on the family. I always tell everybody you need to get travel insurance because you never know what could happen until the moment that it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And once the problem, and also with the travel insurance, like you can purchase it like a couple of days, if you have, let's say, because I had this situation happen to me one time where a customer called and said, hey, my wife has to go into surgery. I have no travel insurance. We can't go. Can I purchase travel insurance today? Nope.
No.
You can't, because
Yep.
they're going to see the day that you purchase the travel insurance, you're going to spend money that is unnecessarily, because you're not going to be able to use it. So you have until final payment, and after final payment, you got like 14 days to use it. That's kind of like your 14-day period that you have. But after that, you can't. And if you do get one, it's going to have to be an outside vendor, and it has to be months before your cruise.
Yep.
Yeah,
but if you're purchasing with a situation that you have in hand, and you think you're going to purchase travel insurance and you're going to get the claim, you're not going to be able to do it. And I always tell everybody, purchase it, because it covers medical evacuation, which is an important thing. You don't want to be stuck in a different country, and you can come back, because now you got to pay that debt to that country in order to get back to the United States, and it's going to be costing you more money. Same thing with passports. The same thing with the passport. It's easier for you to get a $140 passport than to get a 15-day passport. It's going to cost you $280 to get for 15 days. So get your passport. Don't let if I understand a lot of people, it's a little bit of an expense, but if you're able to pay for a drink package, you can purchase your travel insurance and your passport. That's the way that I see it, as a TA.
And I'm going to add on to something about this and see if you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Here's the other thing too. We're in a time of year. Look at our weather right now. A lot of places have been hit with a lot of snow. Think about these TAs. Let's say you schedule a cruise for like February. What happens if they're in states that get bombarded with all these snowstorms? Those travel planes cover some of those things.
Exactly.
Or like if you miss your flights or your flights get canceled, then it allows you, like you said, within that time period. I mean, you do have that time period to use them, but those time periods, that also helps with, weather-wise too.
Right. Because it helps you with the travel delays, baggage loss, it helps with a lot of different things. And I always tell everybody, don't just buy the insurance that the company, the cruise line, is selling to you, because depending on your medical history, if you're a person that you're in great health, it's great. That insurance, like Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Disney, whatever, it's great. But if you have a medical history behind you, I suggest that you get a policy that will cover everything that you need, just in case if something were to happen during your cruise, during your time inside of a cruise. So I do suggest, you check that out.
One, I got a couple of things to show everybody. This is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So, she is actually a medical staff on that thing. And I agree with Stephanie. This is actually a good idea.
Right. Keep a copy of your passport.
And this is a good reason why.
Yeah.
Yep. I do agree with that.
So. There you go. And Margot brings up a good point too.
Yeah.
Yep. And the thing is that sometimes, when you look at that, then you're starting to think, whoa, I'm traveling with no insurance.
Exactly.
I, as a TA, I buy the Allianz. I buy the yearly policy with Allianz.
Yeah.
And that's what I purchase every year.
I always buy the insurance.
Well, like I said, when I first became a TA, I had questions about the travel insurance. But since a year ago and everything going cuckoo, I'm like, things changed. I'm like, now I'm recommending when I got clients, I said, look, if you do want to go on a cruise, there's several things you want to think about. This, your itinerary. But when you're traveling, make sure you think about the travel, the travel insurance, because things always go haywire.
You never know.
You never know when things are going to go happen. So, again, I agree with everything. And now Stephanie said she has used Alliance. Yes, I've actually heard about Alliance. Alliance, from what I've seen and read on it, I actually like the Alliance travel insurance.
You know, is it Allianz or is it Alliance? I never.
I call it Alliance, but I don't know.
Alliance,
Maybe it
I
is
guess.
Alliance.
Alliance.
I don't know how it's pronounced, but
Look, as long as you have the travel insurance, that's all that matters.
Yes.
exactly.
Now I'm gonna be putting Allianz. Repeat pronunciation. Oh my God,
Well,
that's
and
funny.
EM74 said it's Allianz.
Allianz.
Beyonce.
I have no idea. I give up. I mean, I look at it this way. Either way, I'm going to slaughter it. So I get,
Oh.
That is too funny.
Here's another good question, and I know you got to get going pretty soon here because I know you said you got to meet with a client. EM74, she uses the same one that Stephanie does. So see, there you go. See, look at that. Our communities have a lot in common. Now we just got to get you all into the Disney community. If you really love, and I'm going to tell you, if you love, this is an output. If you really love the Disney community, come join some of our people over in the Disney. You'll just see how crazy and fun we love to have fun. And I'm telling you, if you've ever seen some of my shows, and I've always said, Tinkerbell, you're welcome to come on some of the shenanigans on Friday or Saturday night, and you'll just see how crazy the Disney community can get. And Richard will tell you, the last 2 Fridays, my shows have been, they've been so derailed, it makes any avalanche look like a kitty garden.
Put it this way, Pete decided to try to call Dave on one of his shows on the recently, so. Oh, Pete.
Oh, listen, look at this. So see, there you go. And it said it cost them $18,000.
Oof.
Hey, no, not me, Debbie. I am the innocent angel. Let's get this straight, people. I am the innocent angel, regardless of what Richard says.
No.
Don't anybody listen to Richard in this case.
No, he is not.
Hey, Ryan Rowe, welcome in. Ryan Rowe is another one of our.
Hello, Ryan.
Sorry, it's cold in Ohio.
Look, Emma's trying to pronounce it.
Listen, I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm going to slaughter it either way. So, whatever it goes.
Oh, that is too funny.
But anyways, yes. So,
that is.
I don't know. It's good. As a travel advisor, what are some of the best advice you can give to people especially, here's a big question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about excursions now. We really haven't touched excursions, because to me, one of the big things about when you're doing a cruise is sometimes, people want the excursions. Sometimes they just want to relax on the ship.
Yeah.
What do you explain to them when you got some good packages on excursions and they're sitting on the fence of whether they want to go on excursion and because, like I said, I've talked to a few people and they're saying like, well, and we might want to do some excursions, but we're not really sure. I said, what is your advice to them people when they're sitting on the fence when it comes to looking at excursions?
Well, excursion is a very touchy subject, I'll be honest with you. And the reason being is because you have to know your client. You have to know your client. Is this a newbie cruiser?
Yeah.
Is it a seasoned cruiser? If it's a seasoned cruiser, I have no problems telling them, hey, go to Expedia Shore Excursions under my website and purchase as many excursions as you want. They're going to be cheaper, but you got to do it on your own. You got to make sure you get there and whatever, all of that. If it's a newbie, I would never, that conversation will not even happen. I always will consider buying from the ship, because if anything were to happen, the delay or anything like that, the ship will wait for that person.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to some of the clients that said, hey, I'm going on a cruise and I'm not sure if I want to stay on the ship, or I might get off in Nassau and check it out, or maybe do an excursion here and there. There's always excursions that are available. whether on the ship or whether outside the ship. Just make sure that whoever you have to keep in mind, you're not in the United States, so you don't know these countries very well. Just keep in mind that wherever you're going, you don't know these people at all. And you got to make sure you and your family are always safe. You know, I'm one that I've been to Cayman Island, and I actually gotten on the regular bus, paid $2 to get me to hell and back. Literally. And I've never had a problem, but I always tell everybody, be cautious, you know, make sure you always stay safe, which is my main thing as for any client. And if you feel that, you know, make sure that you take cash to pay for taxis and Ubers and things like that. Don't ever give your credit card out there to everybody, because sometimes you don't know exactly what they're going to charge you, and you don't want to come back home to this outrageous charge that you're not going to know what's it for until you get back home. So
you don't want to be bankrupt because of one cruise.
Right. And when it comes and when it comes to booking a cruise, guys, I suggest you book early, at least a year to a year in advance early, because one, you're going to be getting the lower price, especially if those days just came out, you're going to get the lowest price. You also have that amount of time where if it fluctuates or of a perk comes up or whatever the case may be, that you might, you know, be entitled to that perk, then we can always change your itinerary or price and whatever. So just keep in mind, because a lot of people think that it's like back in the time. I don't know how many of you guys have been traveling on cruises where back then you could have literally gone to the cruise port and gotten on that cruise the same day for a couple of $100s. Now you can't even do that. You can't even do that now. And a lot of people think that by waiting to the last minute, oh, I'm going to get on that cruise. Well, guess what? It's sold out and there's nothing you can do. I had a lady 2 weeks ago that it broke my heart, because she was going on a cruise wedding and she waited till the last minute and she booked herself on the wrong cruise.
Oh my goodness!
Where the whole wedding was.
Well,
and so the wedding party ended up in the Carnival Glory, and she ended up in the Carnival Conquest.
Wow!
Those are the things that, you know, always whenever you're booking with somebody, keep in mind, or you're booking by yourself, look always what you're booking, the name of the ship, that it matches what you need to match. And let me tell you something. A lot of people, and I said this on my Tuesday show. A lot of people don't realize that when you're using a travel agent or you're booking it on your own, the same commission is already baked in there, whether you're using a TA or you're booking it on your own. The only difference is that your TA is the one that's getting paid versus Royal Caribbean, Carnival, or whatever. But the thing is that you book it with a TA, you have that knowledge. You know, you have that travel agent that has all of that knowledge that is helping you. And all you got to do if you have a problem is, hey, Jackie, I need you to change David from this. He's not going to be with Richard. Well, that's all you got to tell me. Then you go about your day. Well, Tinkerbell is the one here changing David with Richard now. Sends you a copy of your confirmation. You're done. You don't got to worry about it. If there's an issue, you know, we come with a lot of different knowledge. And I always tell everybody, if you find the right travel agent for you, it's a keeper. Keep that person, because that person has all the knowledge. Because I don't know if you guys, if anybody here was a travel agent when COVID was going around, where we used to cancel and rebook. And back then it was 2 hours on hold. And it was crazy.
It could still be crazy for some company.
You heard me say it on Tuesday. I said I couldn't even imagine being a TA back in those days, because when I booked the one person that I did book a cruise for, I spent 40 minutes waiting to talk to somebody just at Carnival, because I had a couple of questions for her, and I could not find the answer on the portal. You know, and I will tell you that with TAs, guys, the one good thing is that the TAs can go directly to the website, and they'll have most of that information at hand, and it makes a big difference when you know, when you're trying to do it yourself, because sometimes you may not see all that information.
Well,
TAs have everything.
you have that
They
knowledge,
should.
but you also work with your business manager, which are your BDMs in the back
Yep.
end. That if something were to go wrong, all you got to do is if you have a really good network with your BDMs, then you just go straight to them and say, hey, this is the situation. I need this fixed, blah, blah, blah. And boom, it gets done. And, you know, you help out the customer. But think about it, if that customer has to do whatever changes and Carnival or Royal, if somebody's not helping them, it's going to take them days and call after call after call after call to get something done. So, you know, it does. And we come for free, guys. You don't pay us anything. It's a free service.
It's a free service.
I will tell you this. I mean, I will tell you one thing with independents. You know, their commissions are a little bit higher. It's built into the prices because of that. And we talked about that on Tuesday. I mean, because being independent, there's a little, you know, we actually, particularly when you're working with like a hosting agent like I am, they get certain percentage, then I get a certain percentage. So, and this is where I differ than a lot of people. There are some of those TAs that actually add that on to the end of it, but I don't. I strictly, whatever I get whatever my percentage is, that's what I take.
Right. And same here. Right. Same here with Expedia. We don't tackle any extra or anything like that. If the same price you see, whether Carnival or wherever, is the same price you're going to get with us. There's no difference. Now, with Expedia, we do have what is called the EES groups these are groups that are taken many, many months before. And that's where the price might differ because our prices might be lower than what you see online.
Yeah.
That's where the EES groups come from. And you cannot get that anywhere else, not even through any host agency, because that's something that Expedia has with these companies. So that's where I was saying that, you know, if you want to go like an Icon and Star and stuff like that, we do have EES groups that we can assist to get those clients that really want to go on those cruises to pay a little bit less than, you know, than if you were to just go on your own and book it. Yeah.
Going back to what you're talking, I will say, I'm going to add something on to what you were talking about, the excursions earlier. This is exactly what I tell some of my clients. I said, look, it depends on what you're wanting to book. There are things that you may want to, and I tell them, I said, if there's certain excursions at this point, go to your concierge on the ships and look at it. Now, when it does, like I've had some that have asked about Disney. I said, now with Disney, I will be glad to, I will say I will step up. And as working with Disney, I will go through adventure, especially if they're in areas, if they're traveling to areas like Europe and all that have adventures by Disney, then I will go up and say, yes, I will work with it because I know the Disney brand. We know what the Disney brand stands for. So with those excursions, I'll say, yes, I can work with them and they have plenty of good things. So otherwise, I agree with you. I say most of the time I would say, check with your ships. You're going to get pretty decent. And here's the other thing you want to add on to that. If you book through the ship, guarantee you they know you're with them and they will work with it. Something should happen that like maybe the boat broke down and they're running late and you know that's going to cause you to get back to the ship. They will notify the ship, especially if it's recommended by the ship cruise. Am I not correct? I mean, that's usually what I've been
that is correct. Yeah, the ship will wait for you. And if it's a weird circumstance that it's like that you're going to take a couple of hours, they probably will fly you from there to the next stop and then get you on back on the ship. So, and that's at Disney, and not at Disney, at the cost of the cruise line. But you just got to keep in mind that, you know, sometimes, you're paying a little more for the excursion, but you also have peace of mind at the same time that if something were to happen, you don't got to be worried. Oh my God, we're like 30 minutes and we're not going to get there. And you're worried and you have kids and all of that. It's the peace of mind that you're paying for pretty much.
I'm gonna tell this thing. If you really want to see some of the funniest videos, watch some of the videos where you got these crazy people who they just want to be late when they're told how long we're in park. Thank you. I was about to say that. Watch some of the videos on the Pure White and why your cruise TA. I mean, I always tell my people, I said, when you're going on the cruise, make sure, I tell them, my advice to them is make sure you're back an hour before you're leaving port.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, that's my advice to the ones that I've told those people, because I tell them, I said, if you really want, because you don't want to push it, because if you want to see what happens, watch some of the peer runners on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos where you're watching people going.
Yeah, I agree with you at 100% there.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, can we make sure we put Tinkerbell's link in there one more time, or put all our links in there one more time for us, guys? Because I know Tinkerbell's got to get wrapped up here in the next few minutes because she's got to deal with a client. So, Richard, if you can hang on for a few minutes, we can go a little bit longer if you want.
Yeah, I can.
Unless you have to.
Richard's going to say, I'm going to miss all of you all.
I really want to go on a cruise.
I know, right?
I'm telling you, we just all need to get together and take over.
Definitely, I'm down for that. Yeah. I don't have a problem.
Take over.
Might take it might bankrupt us all tonight.
Let's take over a Carnival, you know.
I know, right?
Hey, listen, I'm sure we can get the Carnival Elation. It's the smallest ship and it's the oldest ship.
We could go. Hey, look, we could go on MSC. MSC has really good pricing. They're like what, $500?
We'll get the Disney community and Tinkerbell community.
I know, right?
We'll just take over a ship and have one big.
We'll look weird, We'll look weird, Disney on an MSC cruise, but
that's okay. We'll show them how to. We'll say, y'all don't think Disney people can party? We'll show you how to party.
Yeah.
But anyways, so what I usually like, does anybody else have any questions for Tinkerbell? It's been great to know on we've been able to ask you some some travel advice questions and get to know you a lot more, and I hope you guys all have fun. I'm telling you, you guys want to see funny? Come check out my Disney. Debbie, can you also put I'm going to say this. If you need to, Debbie, can you put in my Disney channel, the Disney Dave's Disney Dream, and put that in there as well? You guys want to see some show, and I keep telling Tinkerbell she needs to come join us on a Friday night. If she really wants to see
let me know, and I'll be more than happy to. I won't be able tomorrow because I have to. I'm actually driving to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, if you got Saturday night, come join us on the Cafe San on Saturday.
But definitely, I would love to. Yeah, get with me on a Friday night, and I can make some time up for you guys. But one thing that I would like to add, if you guys ever, and Em knows this for sure because she's one of my moderators, she's a very good friend of mine. If you ever need to talk to me or whatever, just call me. I have no problems. I always tell this to everybody. You can call me just for a little chit chat because sometimes it gets a little bored. You're doing the same thing. So it's always good to talk. Like David and I had a conversation over the phone. I talked to Pete over the phone not so long ago. Harlan called me and we were on the phone it was weird because Harlan called me. We were on the phone for 2 hours. It didn't even seem that it was 2 hours. And, and it's a lot of fun to talk to the community and to, enjoy that time.
One more question for you.
Sure. Are the Disney cruises worth all the costs over all the cruise lines? No. I could say no. The only thing that I will say about Disney, and it's one of the things that I would highly say about Disney is when you pay for that Disney cruise or even going to the parks, you're paying for premium.
Yeah.
That I can say. You're paying for premium, you're paying for the excellence of work, the excellence in everything.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for.
You are getting premium because I will say one thing about Disney. You get the parties that sometimes the other ships don't do that are involved with the IP characters from Disney. And the fact that Disney has one thing that the other cruise lines don't. They're the only ship that is certified to do fireworks from their ships.
Yep.
So there are some benefits to, yes, you're going to pay through the nose, but there are some added things that you get with Disney that you don't. So that's why I'm saying it's not,
especially
all the cruise lines are different. You just got to know what you want.
Especially the dinner shows that they have, the actual Broadway that they have on it. you know, you're paying for premium.
Yeah.
That I have to
Premium
be very open and honest when it comes to Disney.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably Disney, a cruise in Disney is probably going to be 2 Royal Caribbean cruises put together. Especially Treasure. Treasure is like what, $8,000 for an interior on Treasure, where you can go on Icon 2 times. Think about it, because I actually seen prices on Icon that you can pay for Treasure.
I've seen it.
That I have.
Premium.
It costs cheaper sometimes to sail from Europe to the US than it would be to fly.
Right. But I'll tell you something, you're paying for premium and you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Yes.
You're going to enjoy the ships. They're very well maintained. The cast, the crew members, you know, everything is up in premium. So that's one thing that I can say with no doubt when it comes to Disney. Even when you walk into the parks, you have a situation, you're not having a magical day, we're going to make it magical for you. And they always do. Versus Carnival, Royal, and everybody else, it might not be magical, but you're there. But you know, and I've traveled in a lot of different cruise lines. Like I said, I did Disney, and I truly liked it. And I did a veranda on Disney. It was a very cost veranda, but I loved it. I had a great time, especially the hand sanitizers and all the lotion stuff. Well, they don't even have that brand anymore, because when I went, it was I forgot what the name. I still have a little tube of the of the lotion thing back in the time.
We actually have. She actually has another. Again, this is another one that
cruise line I will say to stay away from.
Tamara Brown is in the house. Hello, Tamara. I know
hey,
she's probably over on Tinkerbell.
How are you?
But she loves Disney, so she's in the right spot.
Yeah. I don't have like a cruise line that I can say stay away from. The only one that I can say, and I have not been in the Islander, is the Margaritaville Islander from Tampa. I heard very good things from it, but the one in Palm Beach, I haven't heard too much good things from. So if that's something that you were thinking of maybe doing, then I will go to Tampa instead of the Palm Beach. But all the cruise lines, no matter where you cruise, is going to have a situation or another, something that you might not going to like. But I don't have one that I can say that, you know, they're not good enough. It's just the quality is truly what you're paying for.
I will say this too, because the one that I would recommend, I mean, depending on, unless I'm dealing with a young couple, most of the time I would say if you're dealing with mid-age couples like 40s, 50s, I would say stay away from Virgin, because that's more, as much as the other ships party, Virgin is definitely a party. So, I mean, now if you're dealing with a young couple and young travelers from 20 to, you know, mid 30s, then I would say Virgin. But otherwise, I would say that would be check out any other cruise line, but stay away from Virgin, depending on what clients you're dealing with and what age.
Right. And to answer Stephanie's question, which I want to go to Alaska in July. Well, which cruise line is best to take in Alaska? I will definitely say, without a shadow of any doubt, Holland America and Princess Cruise Line. Without a shadow of any doubt. Holland America knows how to do Alaska better than anybody else.
There is a Disney over there, but it's an older ship. I think it's the first ship that they ever made. So I think it's just a little bit behind in times for the West Coast. It's still there, and they still have great experiences and excursions and fireworks and all that, but it's not as updated ship as it could be.
But definitely without a hey, Edna's World, how you doing, my love? Hello, how are you, Mama?
It keeps moving. I'm trying to get a question for you. It keeps moving. I can't click on it. There we go.
You're getting high in there.
If someone is 60, which cruise line is the best for them? I would say Celebrity Cruises.
Celebrity is pretty high. Also, a really high one is Princess. Weirdly,
Princess is really good.
Older generation,
for that age. But if, like I said, if you're going on to Alaska, Holland and Princess is the best way to go. Even though that I'm going to Alaska next year and I'm going on Royal, but that's because I have younger people that are going with me, like 16-year-old. So that's a different story. And Dave, I could stay until 8 o'clock. just in case. If you need me here till 8, I can stay until 8.
Well, that right now, Stephanie is firing off questions because she's now got an. Like I said,
Is
here's the
Holland
thing.
America expensive?
It can be
it
up as
could
much as
be.
Disney, but not
It
most
could
of the
be.
time.
But keep in mind, Stephanie, that with Holland and Princess, you also have the tours. If you want to take the tours, like the train and stay on Denali and all of that other stuff. So it just depends. How do you really want to do Alaska? So that's going to depend on the kind of money you're going to be spending.
And
Keep
like
the
I
questions
said,
coming.
I know. Keep the questions. Well, here's the thing. And I know Paul and Stephanie, I've talked with them several times that they, I mean, they're let's just say they just got engaged earlier this, within the last few months. So they're, but eventually their plans are to take a cruise. So I know they've been, and I've told you, I've had cruise representatives come in from, I've had them from Carnival. I'm working on Celebrity right now, but he hasn't got back to me. I know his schedule is tight. So I'm working on that one. I've had Royal Caribbean. I've had Carnival. I just did, was it MSC? I think I just did back in December.
I think
so. I've actually had, yes, I actually had MSC coming in, and and do Q&As for our people.
That's awesome.
So
yeah,
and because I know I have people in the islands here like Debbie and Paul and Stephanie that all want to learn about cruises, so that when they if they get a chance to cruise,
definitely.
That's why I'm saying.
And to answer Samara's, the Queen of Disney's answer, what favorite port in Florida? My favorite port is Port Canaveral. It's one of the easiest ports to get in and out of.
Yes.
Parking wise and everything. Miami is a hot mess. Fort Lauderdale is really good. And if you're ever in Fort Lauderdale, you don't want to park at the port. Park at Port. What is it called? Cruise Park. What is it? Cruise Airport and Park by the ports. Park by the ports.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't get it together.
I have one thing to say.
Up in here. Park by the ports.
I have one thing to say about Port Canaveral. I have one thing to say about Port Canaveral. Trying to get around there is confusing as to which port you had to go, because when I took that MSC tour,
but if you know where you're going,
exactly, it's very easy.
It's if you know where you're going, at least I never seen traffic around Port Canaveral ever. It's just like open highway all the time.
Are you kidding? I've been around. It was nuts going around where I was. Trust me.
Oh,
that was just doing the tour on the MSC.
Oh, you were probably there right when they released the ship.
No, you're luck. I will tell you this, but Stephanie did have another question for you. This is why I'm glad you can stay for a little bit longer.
What about
Stephanie
the cruises to the Greek islands? What cruise ship?
Ooh.
Well, to the Greek islands, I suggest either maybe Celebrity Cruises for that area is a good cruise line. Royal Caribbean is another one, good for that area. So it just depends on how old you are, and how, if you're a person that you're chill and relaxed, Celebrity Cruise Lines all the way through. If you want something a little bit more upbeat, then Royal Caribbean.
She does have a point where it's a few hours just to try to get to the port from the airport from Orlando.
That is true.
There's not really a close airport. Is there a close airport?
No, the MCO is the only closest one. But you can do, over there you can do Gulfport.
Well,
you can do Gulfport.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you guys a good tip real quick. I'm sorry, Dave, that you're speaking. I'm going to give you guys a good tip and maybe jot this down. If you're ever traveling into Port Canaveral, or actually MCO to go to Port Canaveral, go to budget. Budget, you can rent the car in budget for cheaper than a transfer. Yep. Trust and believe, for cheaper than a transfer. You rent the car in budget. You don't got to worry about nobody transferring you anywhere. You drive yourself to Port Canaveral. You drop it off at the budget there, and they actually shuttle you to the ship. You can pick up another budget and come back to MCO. But you got to have everything situated ahead of time, not last minute.
And also in about, I would say probably about 3 to 5 years, they will have the, if I remember correctly, the bullet train too.
Yes.
It'll be a lot
I will
quicker.
tell you this too.
3 to
Something-
5.
Here's another
Ish.
little trick too. Here's another little trick. Sometimes if you can get, depending on smaller flights for good prices, you do have DeLand. They have the small, unless they shut it down now, they did have a small airport where you got some of the smaller, like Spirit and some of the smaller flights you can go into DeLand, which is half the distance to Port Canaveral.
And they have the Bright Line too.
Oh no, not DeLand, Sanford.
I was like, D-Land is not there anymore.
Not DeLand. Well, no.
That's an Air Force base. Not even an airport.
No, you do got DeLand, Florida, that's in that area, but
you know, Stephanie, to answer your question, then celebrity girl, celebrity all the way through. If that's who you are, you're gonna love celebrity. Everybody that I have put on celebrity, they love it.
Oh, here we go. Now she's asking, are there cruises to Denmark?
That's a good, interesting question.
Are there cruises to Denmark and Sweden? I believe they are. They're going to be the smaller type of ships. Yeah, they're probably the smaller types of ships, or maybe like a river cruise or something like that. Because you got to go through those little tight, little narrow areas over there.
Now, I was going to say, here's the thing about that, Stephanie. The one thing, if you want to do that, you might want to think about maybe doing a certain type of cruise over to Europe or fly over to Europe, depending on which one's cheaper at the time. And then maybe doing Virgin Cruises, which goes up the Danube and some of those other, and I'm going to tell you.
Not Virgin.
Which
you're thinking of Viking, right?
Viking.
I knew what you were talking about. Viking, yes.
I know. All I could think was a V, not Virgin Viking. Yes, Viking does because
for Denmark, because I looked it up for Denmark and Sweden, you have NCL and Holland, and sometimes Virgin and Celebrity Cruises go down that way.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So you're getting all the
answers tonight. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Hey, and I will tell you, Paul is not going to have no excuses anytime soon, Stephanie. Keep coming back. We'll make sure we bring some more guests, and we'll keep asking the questions.
That's right.
Oh.
Ooh. Samara's asking, what's your favorite private cruise island?
Well, I've been to Castaway. I have not been to Lighthouse Point at whatever that thing is. It's a long name. I have been to Half Moon Cay, Perfect Day, the Princess Island over there, and I will say Perfect Day at Coco Cay is definitely my island. And even though the Castaway is a really nice island.
I love Castaway.
Castaway is beautiful. But I think because Royal has all these crazy cool things, that they have more to offer to the client.
Okay.
And one cool thing that you can do in Castaway is that you can actually ride a bike and you can run a 3-mile in there.
Yep. And they still give out the medallion.
I have mine somewhere in here.
One. I have it somewhere, yeah.
But the Lighthouse Point at Lookout Cay, is that what it's called? The Lighthouse Point at Lookout Cay?
Yeah.
Who invented that in Disney? Did you see how long is that pier?
I already know who invented it. It was Joe Road, but
Lord, what were they thinking? Like it's like what, a half-mile long in the sun?
It's not everybody's attention is what it is.
It's not Disney's fault on that one. They had to push the pier out because the undergrowth of the water underneath was a protected land.
Oh, okay.
So they had to extend it.
That on the other side of the land, there's other people that live there?
I know. They had to extend it and push it over. Yeah.
That's crazy, though. It's beautiful. I love what they did over there, especially that other side of the island looks very nice.
It's a little long to try to take to walk it. I did walk it.
So you have been there.
I have been to Lighthouse. Yes, Lighthouse Cay. Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask you a question. Were there a lot of flies in the food?
No, none.
Okay, so
Not
they
at
fixed
all.
the problem.
Yeah, I think they might have fixed the problem. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That was no, that was early December, so that was not that long ago. Last month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see,
2
the
months
Queen
ago.
of Samara, the Samara is the Queen of Disney. We call her the Queen of Disney because she doesn't get off the Disney ships. She's a
Oh,
Disney through and through. She
now
she bleeds Mickey.
I've done it only at one port. I never get off. That is Jamaica.
See, for me, it's Grenada.
Yeah, it's always Jamaica for me. I just never get off. But I always hear like things like people talking about how they like panhandle and they try to steal some things from you sometimes. And
Honestly,
Actually, to be
I'm not
honest,
sure if I'd ever get off.
the beach
to
is
be
right
honest
there.
with you, I've been to Jamaica, well, the port of Falmouth, because if you go to the port of Montego Bay, there's nothing there. Don't even get off the port because there's like nothing there. But if you go to Falmouth, you can actually get off the ship and
Yeah.
walk in that area, and it's really nice. I've done Jamaica quite a bit of times. I've never had a problem. Just don't go
Okay,
outside of. Do
too.
not go outside of that fence. Do not go out there.
Okay. I literally
went one
talk
time,
about that.
and I will say never in my life I will cross that fence ever. It was the worst experience I've ever had. But inside of it, you're great. But
Okay.
if you ever do go to Jamaica, I do suggest there's like a little it's like a little place there that they sell cocoa bread. Oh
Okay.
my God, you got to try it at least one time.
was
It's like
I was
$2.
See, I'm like Samara. I've been to the 2 ports that I've been to. It's Freeport and Nassau. I
Oh,
will
I
never
bet
get
that
off.
would be
I will never
spectacular.
get off Nassau again.
But you know
I'll
what?
consider that, Dave.
Nassau is
And
really
Nassau,
nice
I know-
because they actually rebuilt that area.
Yeah,
Really?
they're in the middle of, so
Well, not only that,
Now,
you
I
can
went
get
and-
off.
last time I went over there, yeah.
Right. Well, if you went to Nassau back in the time versus now
went to-
today,
I only
it's
went now.
amazing. They even have a
I want
museum.
to think it was 2000. I want to say it was actually 2010 when I did that cruise. And
Oh no,
trying to figure out
you
when
got to
it-
get off in Nassau, Dave, because there's like a museum there. It's all
Yeah.
enclosed and it's privatized now, so you can go
Okay.
shopping inside of the
Nassau
port,
was
and you
all
don't even
that.
have to go out if you don't want to. But it's really
You don't
nice.
have to go
Actually,
outside of the security then?
No, actually,
No.
Dave, check out my NASA. I did NASA when I went to Perfect Date on Utopia of the Seas
Okay,
in September.
that's changed then. See, that's
Check out my
changed
NASA
since I
so you
was
can
there.
see what it looks like
It,
now.
it became more touristy.
I'll have to get on the
It was
show and
good, but more
we'll have to get
touristy.
on a show. I'll have to get on a show and we'll have to talk about Nassau.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell. because
Yeah.
Then that's changed. since
beautiful
I went
port.
Since,
Mhm.
since I went to, it's changed then obviously since I went to Nassau.
And actually,
that's
they
been-
right now
sorry,
in NASA, they're actually building a water park inside of the port, and then you got Royal
Yep.
Caribbean building their water park across from the beach.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's
That's
my
really
problem with getting off the
interesting.
ships. Period. Here's my problem with, and Richard will he'll know it's coming. Here's my problem with getting off the ship. I'm a 24/7 pizza guy on a cruise ship. I'm
Oh
about my
gosh.
pizza on the cruise ship.
Well, Dave,
I fell in love with
Dave,
I'm telling you,
we're gonna have to
we're
when we
getting
book
a small group within Disney that we love our 24/7 pizza.
when we book our cruise, Dave, we're gonna have to go to Italy then because guess what? They have the best pizza.
Mhm.
There you go.
I
That'll
don't
be
care where I
answering
get my
all the
pizza as long as it's on the ship.
No, it's going to be off the ship. There's going to be ports that'll have
Well,
better
if they
pizza
got
than on
pizza,
the
I'm
ship.
good too. As long as it's good
Oh,
pizza, I'm
look,
okay with that
David
too.
T says that they closed Margaritaville in the port of Falmouth. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's good to know. That is good to know.
Oh, really?
That sounds pretty cool, David.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, that's
I will
good to know.
definitely look into that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, he was actually telling you something.
Oh my God, you guys got to go
laughing.
to Jamaica and do the what is it, that waterfall thing? The what is it called? The Dun River Falls.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Really?
amazing. That's a good
See, we
excursion over there.
Hey,
We,
David
we
too
got to
was
get
talking
you on the
about
Thursday
the
show, Tinkerbell. You're full of
Mark
good
Bray, I
information, too.
guess. Rafting the Mark Bray.
And look at how much fun we're
Yeah.
having.
I know.
Oh wait, no, I did not. Can you repost it, Stephanie?
Yeah, I don't
sorry,
see
did
that
not catch
bumped up there.
Can-
Some of the time
Hold
went by
on, hold
really
on.
quick.
Oh,
Let
wait
me
a minute.
see.
Hold on. There's
That's
what is
it.
the most
Yeah.
popular? Oh,
What is the most popular cruise destination right now for
Wow.
Canadians?
That's hard to say. It depends on each. That depends on. From what I've
Yeah.
experienced and the people I've talked to, it depends on what the people want.
What
I
you
mean,
want,
because
what you kind of are looking for.
I mean, because
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
people that love to travel to Australia. You got the
Yeah.
people that love to travel to Alaska or
Yep.
Europe.
Well, I
and
would
you got
say
people
right
that,
now, for me at least, a lot of people are traveling to Europe.
Yep, Europe is big one.
It's right now. That's the biggest hot thing is Europe. People want to go check something other than the Caribbean right now.
Yeah.
and
Last one I did
either
on
for me-
Princess was Eastern Caribbean, so it's a different islands than I've been on before.
now
So
see, I've actually had a few people ask about Australia too.
yeah.
So I would say Australia.
That's
monthly
down
cost-
under.
Yeah, that's down under. But
Oh
you know,
gosh, I would do that, Dave. Come on.
but, hey, I
making
actually
bobsled
want to go.
team.
Listen, there's a lot of good stuff about Australia. I actually want to go to Australia because there's a lot of good. The more I read about it,
Yeah, they
there's a
got
lot
big
of good things
spiders
I
and
love
all of
about
that stuff up there,
Yeah.
and kangaroos and things like
well,
that.
I look at it this way: if it's a big spider, I'll just throw Richard and I'll run the other way.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie Hassa says, I love Europe. What is the average price for an average person to Europe? Well, actually, I'm going to Europe in June, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I have a small group. I think we're like about 13 cabins on Celebrity Ascent. And for 2 people, and this is a cabin that has a balcony. So it's an ocean balcony midship. For 2 people, drink package and Wi-Fi out the door, $4,760. So $4,760. And the tickets to fly from Miami, because we're all leaving from Miami to Rome, round trip, because it's Rome, and then the ship will stop in Barcelona, and we get off in Barcelona and then fly back. So the flight was about $1,125 per person. So you're looking at about $6,000, $7,000 for 2 people, and that's not even counting the excursions, and everything like that. Now there's that's Celebrity Cruises. There's other cruise lines that it might be a little bit less than that, and you have to find it at the time, and it all does depend when you're going and things like that.
And just so you know,
unless you're going from here over there on a cruise and then coming back.
Yeah. Well, if you have enough time, I guess you could.
That's a whole month.
Going to Europe is like I said, sometimes it's cheaper going on the dang cruise than just to fly over. You would pay less going onto the cruise, which has ports too.
Yes.
I actually had one of my clients that did that. She left from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Barcelona, and then she stood there for a couple of days and got on another ship and came back to the United States.
This extended vacation. That's all I want. Yeah.
There you go. That's the good. Yeah, that's the big thing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plane tickets was the tricky part.
Yep. And then, just so anyone is wondering, also, travel agents can also book plane tickets and try to get that all sorted out also. So you can kind of have that all locked.
If you book through NCL, you get the buy one, get one flights. So that's going to be a little bit of a savings if you want to go on an NCL to Europe.
Yep.
Yeah, especially if you have to fly. I would, the the one thing I am discovering is that sometimes if you are flying to a port to take a cruise, sometimes it's cheaper to go through the cruise lines to get, plane prices, depending on what port you're flying to going out of.
And it's also peace of mind for the customer as well, because if something gets canceled, guess what? The cruise line got to get you there, and you don't have to be buying another plane ticket to get you there. So the cruise line will do all of that back end work for you.
Yeah. I did day beforehand for me most of the time.
I would recommend
the morning before, night before.
Always.
I've always said that. I mean, I don't know what your guys. I know what Richard's opinion is. and
Yep.
his is the same as mine. Is that when you're traveling, and I'm going to use Disney. If you're,
Make a buffer.
let's say you're doing a cruise out of Port Canaveral, obviously I'm only 2.5 hours, but if it was like Richard, if he had to fly to Orlando, his best bet is to maybe take a couple of days, enjoy the parks or something like that, a couple of days, get a full day rest before you have to embark onto the ship. So I always told him, I said, if you have to go to a part where you have to fly, make sure you get there a day before that you can get a good day rest, and then get your way over it. Because sometimes if you get the right hotel, you may be able to get a transport from the hotel.
Right, the shuttle. Especially if you're staying in Port Canaveral, you have the what is that hotel in the corner? Suite. What is it? Suite something stay. Country Inn and Suites. The Country Inn and Suites. You could do a stay, park, and cruise. So you can come in there. You can drop your car. You can stay there, eat a hot breakfast in the morning. They'll show you to the cruise port, and then they'll bring you back.
The Hyatt.
The Hyatt is another one too, which is down the street.
Yeah.
So I always recommend a day or two to everybody that's flying, because you never know if you have a cancellation or something. You want to make sure you make it to that cruise.
And then also another good point is also any of the Disney World properties. It seems like they have their own buses. I believe they cost about $25. It's not that bad, and it goes all the way down to Port Canaveral. So
that's not bad at all.
It's pretty cheap, I would say.
I remember when I used to go to Port Canaveral, you see all these Disney buses, the cruise lines,
all over,
and they took all of that out. So when you go over there, you're like, oh, where does this?
There's a few now. There's a few that go through, but they're not allowed to stop there anymore. Yeah,
it's very seldom you see them now.
Yeah, it is rare now.
Yep, but.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. That's good. That's a good information, David.
That's the one thing you're going to find out. There's, that's what I like about these communities, because you got a lot of people that have some knowledge out there that have done some of this stuff, and it's like,
not
you know
only
what,
that,
we don't have to say nothing.
Yeah, you learn different things from all sorts of different people. You got to be open to learning, and all of that. I'm always open to learn something new. There's my daughter, Geraldine.
You have to go on vacation after the vacation.
Well, welcome in, Geraldine.
For your vacation is always the best. You know what? Because of her is when I started cruising. Because of her, she was the reason why I've been cruising. She's the one that I was telling you early on that she wanted her birthday, and we went with a friend of her, and we did our first cruise.
Okay.
I only see one problem with cruising. One problem.
Ooh, what is that?
The problem is you're extremely happy when you get on the ship and your embarkation. The problem is getting off the freaking ship and you want to turn around and go right back on.
Yep. Yeah. How rude is it that they leave you these little tags, right? The night before.
Tell me about it. Really?
And a little letter, you got to get your stuff out of here by 11 o'clock or drag it out yourself in the morning.
Really? Yeah,
How
you're rushing me off my vacation?
Yeah.
Exactly, Samara. Do back-to-back with cruises.
Yeah.
That way you just turn around, go right back on. Thank you.
I've done a back-to-back once, so that was all Disney.
That's nice.
Yeah. Cruise after a cruise after a cruise.
Wait. So did you need a vacation from the vacation from the vacation from the vacation?
Have you booked it on the same exact cabin?
Yeah, it was 2 different ships.
Oh, okay.
Port Canaveral.
So you just jump from one ship to the other?
Yeah, and then the first one, the back-to-back one, it was the same.
Or side by side. There you go too, Samara.
But we prefer to. We already know we're going to be out on deck anyway, on the top. We don't care if we have the view from our room. We go cheaper.
Oh.
So let me ask you something. So did you get an Uber to take you to the next port, the next ship?
There you go.
Port Canaveral for the ship had its own transportation, which was basically a golf cart that basically they took us from one ship to the other ship. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Oh,
cool.
so you got a
though.
private
I
golf
got,
cart.
I got the executive experience over here.
We see how that is, Richard.
Right? I've never even heard of that. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. That was my 13. That was my last cruise. Was a back to back on Disney. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is
Nice.
pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
I bet you it helped that I was already Pearl. I think by that time I already did my 10 cruises to make it to that point. So
Oh my God, that is awesome though.
yeah.
I've never done a side by side or a back to back. But one of these days, the longest that I've been on a cruise have been 14 days, and it was on doing a Carnival's Journeys cruise with one of my daughters, and that was really cool. It was on the Carnival Breeze. But I've never done a side by side or a back to back. One of these days, I'm gonna have to try it.
I did that back to back was a 23 day. So
That is awesome though.
whole month, I'm out. We don't buy the internet package or nothing. We're just like gone.
Oh my God, that is too funny.
Yeah. If I could, believe me, if I could afford it, I'd be getting on one of those around the world. I'll see you in a year.
Oh,
Bye.
yes.
That is
Exactly.
true. I agree with you there. That is true.
At the Royal Caribbean or whatever the other one is.
Oh,
Carnival?
We got a question from Samara.
Who's your favorite comedian show you saw on a cruise? I forgot his last name, but I know his name was Chris, and Billy Washington was my favorite comedian on a cruise. And Billy and Chris were on a Carnival cruise. That was my favorite comedian that I saw on a cruise. I think it's Chris Wiles. I'm going to say his last name was.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Remember, it's been so long for me. I couldn't tell you what cruise comedy. I will tell you this. If you and I will. Here's a reminder for you parents that have young kids. Make sure you hit the right show, not the after 10 o'clock. But for
that is very true.
I will tell you.
That is very true.
I will tell you a funny story. When I was on that, when I did my first crew on the Carnival Elation, and Mom and Dad unfortunately got sick after they were fine Friday. They were able to enjoy Nassau, but Freeport we couldn't enjoy because they were sick. So I stayed close to the ship because of them being, obviously I want to make sure they're okay. But I did the Saturday night show, or not so much comedian, but they did some like a competition for like adult after hour. And some of the stuff, let's just say some of the stuff that you saw, and I will say this, I ended up barking like a dog, part of it. I had to go up the stairs and I had to bark like a dog.
A good time, why not? I guess.
It was. I'm doing this with I'm doing this with 3 other people I don't know, but the experiences Tinkerbell's right. The experiences that you make on some of these cruises is beyond magical sometimes, and the memories you get to take back.
And not only that, I think the people you meet on board, you sometimes become friends with them, and it's just. I always, and that's one of the things we were talking about on our Tuesday show. When you do group cruise, it's great because you talk to the people, like right now we're having a conversation, but when you meet face to face, that's just magical. That's at a different level.
Yeah.
And it just makes that bond even bigger at that point. No, I do not buy photo packages.
No, I don't. The only photo package I buy is when I'm at Disney parks, and that's usually when I have the AP, and I get it with it.
It would matter if you're with a kid or cousin, your daughter.
No, I was not Halloween. I was just barking, David T. I'll go through that.
I would say with Disney Cruise Line, I have bought the photo package before, and it is pretty good because it's all the characters that they got to experience.
Right.
if it's the first time for a kid, yes, fork over the
Yeah.
money a little bit.
Yeah, I used to buy them at the beginning when I started cruising, but not anymore. Like I don't buy
Yeah.
any of that anymore.
I will,
Yeah.
David T. I will promise you this. I will tell you guys the full story.
Oh,
And I will tell you what. I will tell you guys the full. And like I said, Tinkerbell's welcome to come. I will tell you the full story either on a Friday or Saturday night show when we know things go off the rail, but yet we know the younger kids are in bed and we can talk adult stuff. I will tell you the full story on that one. I will tell you the full story on that one on the Carnival of Lake.
It'll be Dave Cantrell show after dark.
Basically,
he's done that
the only thing I hope, and the only thing I hope is that Pete don't catch it on and come in.
Dave,
Oh,
if I see you trying to make that, I will tell Pete personally myself so he does join.
And if you do, I'm going to zip your lip real quick.
Look, Jonathan is saying, "What did
Remember
I
do this?
Oh my God, where'd he go? Oh my God, where'd you
You
go?
can kick me out, whatever.
Anyway, Jonathan Chung. Jonathan.
Hello, Jonathan.
Tinkerbell. Jonathan is another one. He's one of our Canadian friends. He's another good moderator within our Disney community. You're going to find out when you go on the Triple C show. You're going to meet a lot of good people.
I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I look forward to you hanging out. Listen, I look forward to you hanging out more with us and us overlapping. I know from my point with my business to you being, I look forward to working with you and doing a lot more.
It's like I always tell everybody, whenever you need to talk to me, just call me. I have no problems. I'll be more than happy to help anybody out.
There's another question, Dave. I seen. Yeah, that tomorrow. One.
What is your favorite thing to bring on a cruise ship? My laptop. Because I gotta work.
Oh, that's true.
I want to know. I got to question this. How is it as TAs?
I do one. Go ahead.
How is it that as TAs we're supposed to be on vacation and we always end up having to work even when we're on vacation?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. You're working 24/7. If you have a lot of customers traveling back and forth, you're working out all the time.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Queen of Disney, one of my favorite things to bring on the cruise ship is my Lego colorful shoes. I just like to make a statement with my shoes, and they're like Legos and they have all the different colors. My daughter got them for me. So that's one of the things that I like to bring on day of embarkation. You will see me with my cool, colorful shoes.
Well,
now,
see,
I've mostly only done Disney. This works really well for me. I would say that my favorite thing would have to be a Spirit jersey.
Ooh.
Because at nighttime, when it gets a little bit windy out there sometimes, it's nice to have something that's longer sleeve.
Right.
Made for your shoulders. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, David T says we were talking about the photo package. He said,
that's a lot of pictures between 300 and 400.
That's a lot of pictures.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a lot of pictures.
And then for Disney, it's semi-expensive, but not that expensive for that much. Yeah. I've done that like 3-4 times. I go on all these cruises. Yes, but I also try to always bring like a cousin that's, hasn't been on a cruise before. I get to have them experience, and then I'm sorry, but I'm like integrating them into Disney Cruise Line. They want to do it again.
Let me ask you two this question. Let me ask you this two questions. Okay, even with me being a TA, and I know I've put foot on the MSC seascape and done that, would you recommend? Because you never know when a question or clients are going to ask about it anyways, but would you guys recommend it for somebody that's brand new going onto a ship who may only be their first or second cruise to get the photo package?
Someone has an alarm.
To get the photo package, if it's like their first or second cruise, It depends. I guess it depends on if they're going, like husband, wife, or newlyweds, or girlfriend, boyfriend, or a family. It just depends on the situation. Because people look at it as an extra added cost, to be honest with
Mhm.
you. Some people love that kind of stuff and they'll just buy it, but then they're going to look at it, well, with that money I can go and do this, that, and the other. So it just depends. But as a TA, I've never, to be honest, have recommended something like that. Other than, travel protection and gratuities added, and shore excursions here and there. And we do talk about like drink packages, spa packages, especially like if you're going on Royal Caribbean, the key, is it worth buying the key over there, and things like that. So it all depends. You can try it and see, but I'll be honest, I've never had that encounter.
There's also, if you're kind of like me and Dave, and then maybe Tinkerbell, but maybe you could. I have used those pictures that they send to you for my. I made vlogs out of them and made it so I could use them in like a vlog that I could use on my channel.
Oh, that's awesome though.
So yeah, they're digital.
I do have to. Obviously, me and you could stick around for a while, Richard, if we wanted to. I do know it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I gotta get going because I gotta really call this
person. You need to get with your client. I mean, that's how much fun we've had tonight, and hopefully there was a lot of good questions asked tonight.
Definitely, and we may have to do another one of these to answer more questions for sure. I'm always available.
Do you want to do a part? Yeah, I think we do need a part two.
We need a part two.
Part two. Yes.
Let me know when you can do a part. If you want to do a part two, I can schedule it for next week if we want to.
That's fine. I'm good next Thursday.
Okay, well, part two. Richard, hopefully you can be back with us because this thing.
And maybe we'll bring in someone else too. Let's make it a party.
Not Mike, because
not Mike. No, it would have to be someone that's been on a cruise before. So,
but I will leave you guys. I will leave you guys with a little piece of my YouTube channel. For those of you that like to travel on cruises and things like that, on Wednesday, guys, I do have a show called Across the Waves. And if this is something that interests you, we talk about the different ports of calls around the world. Last year, we hit 39 ports of calls. This year, so far, we did St. Lucia. So if that's something that is interesting to you and get to know about Across the Wave, the way we do it is we have a history of the port. We have we have the news around that port, port information, what to do around the port. Then we have excursions and restaurants. And then we open it up to everybody, questions and answers and things like that. If that's something that might interest you, we're there on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday. It's called Across the Wave. And if you're interested in checking out my channel, I'm there on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. And then next Thursday, we'll be right back over here. And we'll be with David for part two.
I'm going to in fact, I'm going to work on the thumbnail tonight for part two.
Yes.
Definitely,
And if you like Disney shenanigans, join me on Friday and Saturday night, both times at 11:30. Well, no, Friday night, 11:30, because I work till 10.
There you go. And Jonathan, if you want to check out my channel, I have a lot of different ports in the Europe that we already have discussed. And if you guys need me and you need to call me for whatever reason, my number, I will put it down here for you guys. Hold on, 813-608-2935. That is my phone number. So if you just want to call to say hello, how are you? Have a little chat with Tinkerbell. That's my phone number. I'll be more than happy to have a little chat with you. But next week, what I'll do, Dave, is I'll block my time. I won't work from 6 to like later that day, so that we can spend some time here with you guys.
Honestly, I didn't expect us to go this long. I figured we'd go an hour, but we were getting some.
But the conversation is really good, so I love it. The conversation is really good, and we'll be back again with Dave. But thank you, Richard and Dave, for having me here today. And I wish
And
you guys
like
the
I
best
said-
of luck. And we're gonna start, doing this networking with everybody in your community, Dave.
Okay.
And I want to say thank you to everybody that is
Well-
opening their arms to traveling with Tinkerbell.
Right.
It's
And
a
I look
super
forward-
blessing, and I wish and I pray for everybody of you guys. May God continue to bless each and every one of you guys. And I love you all to the moon and back. And like we say in Traveling with Tinkerbell, toodaloo. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Bye, guys. Love you guys all. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Anyways, that was fun. A lot of
Tinkerbell,
good information. And I encourage you guys again, if you haven't checked, go check
Please
her
do.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know you really. I didn't know you had checked her out, or I didn't know if you just checked her out on Tuesday night when I was on there. So I don't know what it was.
The first time
but
I
I do
seen her
know-
was about a month ago when I subscribed to her. It was one of the channels that popped up on my YouTube.
Okay,
It
and
showed
now
me
proceed.
before you even talked about her. So yeah,
Well, and here's the thing, Pete.
you never know.
I swear Pete put her on the channel.
I think
I
that's
don't know
where
if
it
it
came
was
from.
early December. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
in December or or sometime in November. But that's
Yep.
how I found her, and then I went in. Well, and then especially after we were
That's
doing
when
a
I
cruise show.
subscribed to her too.
I
Yeah.
think we were doing on a cruise show, and Emily 74 came in,
Yeah.
and then we connected, and then obviously I went into her. I keep going. I love her Tuesday night and Wednesday show. So I've gone into Tinkerbell show, and we connected towards the
Yep.
end of December and all that, and that's how this all connected. And now we're getting to part 2 next week. I'm loving this. Part 2 next week.
She
people.
needs to just be a
Be here.
regular. Dave, she needs to be a regular on your channel. I'm sorry, but just
I may talk to her and see if she
Yeah.
wants to do, because
I do. I'm already thinking of the questions that I'm going to be asking her when she gets back already.
okay,
So,
well, see, there you go. I'll
I'll
have
be
to
writing
see if she
them
would
down.
like to be. I will be. And Stephanie, thank you for asking the question. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate a lot of her people coming over. Harlan, EM74.
Yeah. everyone
You
that
know,
came
Samara,
over, thank you.
Everyone that all came over from her channel, because she posted it on Facebook and YouTube on her channel. So plus our community, we had a good turnout. I mean, at one point we got up to like around 18, 19 people in the chat
I
at
see
one
that.
point.
I was like, we're just
And that was
confident.
right off for me. That's right off that was the Richter scale for this one.
Yeah.
And I may ask to see if she wants to be a regular part of the show, because
And that's what I'm hoping.
you know where
Yeah.
where I have some now, and she's been doing this for a while.
Yep.
And the questions that you were asking, Stephanie, were awesome. And
Yeah.
then of course Samara asking questions, and David T dropping in the
Very
information he was
interactive.
dropping. And even
Yeah.
her people were dropping in. You can't say enough about the Tinkerbell community, and her channel is growing as well, and
Yep.
I'm glad. And again, hint, hint, when you and Paul are ready to do your cruise, you know where to find me.
Yep.
And we will get the right ones as soon as that you guys want. We got to make sure you guys get on a good cruise. And I know not this year, Richard, but me and you need to start talking about a cruise for next year.
Good.
I
Might
mean,
be a few years.
think I didn't.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I couldn't remember if you had anything planned yet for next year or not. But
Yeah. That was Eastern. Not Eastern. Europe. On the Viking ships. I'm going into
Okay,
Germany and all that. Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit of money, but
Debut.
I thought I'd do. I actually,
Debut.
because this
Sorry,
cruise,
yeah.
next cruise I want to do a 6-7 day night cruise.
Yep.
So and I'd be looking for, it'll actually probably be the one around my birthday time. That's what I'm looking for next year, probably.
Yep.
Oh, David
Yep.
T. Good guy. I
Yep.
know where you're going with that, David T. Did you see what David T said? Make sure
I
your
did.
ship has.
Now, I did not talk about this when she was on because I didn't remember it, but I heard rumors a lot that there's going to be 2 different shows at nighttime on the Treasure. The Treasure is going to be the first one doing this, but they're going to have the fireworks show. But they're also afterwards or beforehand, probably after. It is another dark experience, and it is drones. So Disney's getting into the drone in the middle of the ocean. Have it.
You'll have to bring that. You'll have to bring that up. You have to bring that up next week. That is, I hadn't heard
first cruise line ever to do this. Disney.
I have not seen that.
Yeah. Right now, the rumor I've seen said it was going to be about 9,000 drones, but it could be larger or smaller. We don't know the exact number yet, but it's going to be something interesting to look at, at nighttime.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but it's been going 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I'm getting a little tired. I don't know. Hey, it's my lunch. It's my dinner time. Not my lunch. It's my dinner.
I should have had dinner about an hour ago, and I haven't even eaten dinner. No. We had such a good conversation,
Dave.
So
you should have had dinner before you even started this stream.
Not beforehand. Quite. It's only 5 o'clock.
Beforehand. I eat dinner usually around 5 to 6 o'clock.
Well, I did eat things. I was eating snacks. So I mean, but now I gotta make dinner. Anyways, guys. Dinner. So you know what? Make sure you guys are here next week. Yep. We already know she's
going to have a big show.
We're going to have a part 2. So
I'm going to go tell people to bring people over for that show.
Bring the questions, guys. So
bring the
questions. Thank you all for being here. The new Moana show on the Treasure is incredible. Kelsey says the show alone is reading the book on it. That haunted parlor is the one I want. The haunted
parlor, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yeah, I like that bar that's themed after the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Come on.
That one too is the other one. I do like 20,000 Under the Sea, the original one. So,
classic.
Okay, guys.
Nothing better.
With that, anyway. So, what do you got on your what you got coming up on your channel, Richard?
I think I'm still doing some vlogs, but if I remember correctly, we haven't seen anything for food yet. So Park and Eat will, whenever there is a new thing, we do it the exact day that it comes out. And then also, if I remember correctly, Pentastic Tuesday right now. I'm just kind of keeping the same.
Hey, I'll eat dinner when I want to eat dinner. I'm going to be getting ready to watch MASH again, or actually, I need to see what streamers are streaming right now so I can go watch them. But
let's see who that is. We're looking at streams on a live stream.
Y'all are crazy. You know what? Between you and Jonathan, I swear.
You know what? We brought the fun.
We did. It actually is quite good. It was actually
It was good. I didn't see it go off track at all, or almost none at all.
It didn't go. Here's the thing. It didn't go off track. It did not go off track. We got questions answered. We did have fun. And
Corey is doing a evening with Yeehaw Bob.
Oh, what?
Corey is doing a stream right now of a evening with Yeehaw Bob.
Really?
Yep, right there. Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm going to have to go watch Corey for a while because I love Yeehaw Bob.
Exactly. That's the one to watch.
So, what the heck? Stupid.
That's the big one right now. There's some others, but nothing important like Yeehaw Bob.
Yeah, I don't know. Pete might be on a second stream. I think. I thought he was streaming.
I didn't see Pete on
He's on the Deuce. He's on his Deuce.
Okay,
He's
never
on the
mind.
second channel.
He's on his
Yeah,
second
so
channel.
unless you watch sports, you probably wouldn't know. I got both because I do watch sports. So
Yeah, Dad Builds always comes on later. You already know that.
yep, that build will be
He'll
on
come
at
on later
9:30. So
tonight.
make sure you guys go check on that.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna actually go get something to eat now. Go watch that.
Okay.
Don't forget tomorrow night, 11:30, Shenanigans. Saturday night,
Be there.
10:30, Disney Cafe chat, and heaven knows who knows what's going to happen this week.
Yeah, heaven knows. Yeah.
If it's any Jason Thibodeau, welcome in. So everybody have a
We're
great
just
night.
about to head out.
Yeah, we're about to head out, and we've been
Yep.
because we've been going 2 hours and 15 minutes strong.
Yep.
Which is crazy for a Thursday night show. That really is.
It's pretty
But it was
good, I would
information.
say.
So that was
I think she went
Yep.
really well with this one. I like her.
so. Okay, guys. With that, don't forget. Yes, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. And for those that are still in here, maybe watching, if you're new to my channel, please go check out my other channels.
Yes.
If you see both channels, my Cantrell Country Travelway and the Disney Dave's Dreams.
Yep.
Or Dave's Disney Dreams. Check out our channels. Check out the things if you like. Hit the subscribe on both and the bell notification so when you know when I go live on either channel.
Yep.
So with that, I'm going to say, guys, have a great night. It's time to go eat.
Bye-bye now.
Maybe.
Once it ever goes on.